Low testosterone levels, something I certainly know about. So let's just rewind the clock for a moment. I experienced one of the lowest testosterone readings you will ever see at just 1 nanomole per litre.
And trust me, and I don't want to sound like a bit of a drama queen, I don't like exaggerating things, but when I say I felt like I honestly did feel pretty
And I personally think this was down to dieting and trying to maintain too low of a body fat percentage for too long.
So if you're wondering what my symptoms were, you can go watch my other videos that I posted about the topic, but I'll briefly go over them now. The first thing to mention is low libido, and when I say low, I literally mean non-existent. And I don't want to be too descriptive on here because I've got family on here, maybe some friends that would find it a little bit disturbing, but you know what, it's my YouTube video. The only way I can think of describing it is that you have literally no connection to your downstairs. There is literally nothing going on there. Mate, like, I'm not even joking. I'm thinking I didn't see any kind of blood to that area for what, 3 months? Like, imagine that, 3 months with nothing going on. Mate, it's rough. It is not ideal. Like, there's only so many times you can say to your missus that you're tired. The next thing to mention is chronic fatigue, and trust me, it was really hard. Like, my legs felt heavy all the time, like walking around with so much effort. And yeah, I just felt tired all the time, which kind of leads me on to the next thing, which is like not being able to sleep. I think at some points I was probably averaging like what, 4 or 5 hours of sleep every night when I'm used to like 7 to 9 hours. Yeah, I felt trashed. Brain fog's another one, so I probably struggle with this just in general anyway, because I just forget stuff and can't concentrate a lot because that's just what I'm like. But yeah, mate, I would be having a conversation with someone, talking about something, and halfway through a sentence, I'd be like, what am I talking about again? Motivation is something I've never struggled with before, but like, yeah, mate, I wasn't motivated to do anything. I didn't want to train. I was counting down my sets in the gym till I could leave. I just had like no kind of like oomph or drive behind me, which is, it felt so unlike me. And a lack of motivation kind of leads me on to the next thing, which is just feeling sad all the time. And like I said in the other video, I don't want to self-diagnose myself with depression because I don't think it was that, but I honestly felt really like low some days, and I just kept reminding myself that, you know, I'm not sad, it's just that my hormones are out of whack. And the last thing I can think of to mention, which definitely affects me the most and isn't really a cause of directly from low testosterone, it's probably what got me to that in the first place, if that made any sense. And that is just like extremely high food focus. And that's just from dieting down, getting really lean, trying to sustain that, and it messed me up a lot. Like, I could not stop thinking about food. Like, I'd be eating one meal, wouldn't even be finished, and I'd be thinking about how long until my next meal, and no amount of food could satisfy me. Anyway, the other day I had a blood test and got my second lot of results back for my total testosterone levels. So in November, my testosterone, like I mentioned, was at 1 nanomole per litre. And today, 9 weeks or so on from that result, my total testosterone levels are now 14 nanomoles per litre, which is a massive increase of 1400%, which I think is absolutely insane. Now let me explain to you how I increase my testosterone levels naturally, and this isn't a blueprint of how to do it, this is just my experience and how I went about it. So the first thing I did, which I think was absolutely mandatory for me to get my testosterone levels higher, was just simply increasing my calories. I know for a fact a lot of people will struggle to increase the calories after being shredded because they always want to be shredded once they've got there, but for most people it's just not sustainable. So coming off the back of a diet, my diet was already nutrient dense to kind of like help me feel full all the time with a lot of vegetables, a lot of fruit, things like that. But I tried to add even more veg with my meals and stuff, so that definitely helps. And the other really important thing I did with my diet is increase my fat intakes. Basically, if you didn't know, fats is going to help with hormonal production. So if your fats are currently really low and you've got low testosterone, try just increasing your fats a little bit, and that could be a really simple fix. The next thing I tried to address was my stress levels. I'm not talking just mental, but physical as well. So at the end of a diet, your cardio is quite high, your steps are quite high, that's adding a lot of stress to your body. So what I did was reduce my steps, reduce my cardio, reduced how often I was training. I went from training 5 times a week down to 4 times a week. My cardio was at like 4 or 5 times a week at the end of my diet, and then I dropped it down to like 2. And then with the mental side of stress, what I tried to do was just try and do more things that I enjoyed and try to reduce like my working hours a little bit. And also what I had to do was try and sleep more. So that's not something I've neglected. I know how important it is, but when you're dieting down, it becomes harder to sleep. So I just tried to do things that would kind of improve my sleep. So they're all the main things I did, but there's one problem. I haven't got a free testosterone result. And it's quite annoying because that's a vital bit of information that I need to see whether things are in a good place or not. So I've had to arrange a call with the doctor for next week, but the thing is, he's kind of like discharged me which kind of indicates to me that my free test might be okay as well, but I can't quite confirm that yet until next week. So there will be another update soon. But don't get me wrong, I'm certainly not feeling normal yet, but I'm definitely feeling a lot better and I feel like I'm on the right track. So I think holding this kind of body composition I'm currently at is something I can sustain quite comfortably. So I'll have to do a physique update soon. So I'm around 9 or 10 pounds up from my photo shoot, so I think I'm about 161, 162 pounds at the minute. Despite that not being that much body weight up really in the grand scheme of things, I certainly do feel a fair bit softer. I don't know if that's body dysmorphia, like exaggerating how I feel, but yeah, I feel like the extra body fat is definitely helped. I'm not saying this is the blueprint to increasing testosterone naturally. This is just what I did, and I'm sure there's a lot of information out there. There's a lot of podcasts, a lot of YouTube videos, but I hope this video has helped you a little bit. There's been a lot of engagement on this topic. I've had a lot of people like message me, which is quite surprising, on Instagram and stuff. Like some people reaching out to me to give me advice, so thank you for that. And also other people reaching out to me for my experience and my advice. So yeah, it's kind of cool how these videos have reached a lot of people, and a lot of people that have experienced it before or are currently experiencing it. So I'm hoping this video or other videos have helped someone. But please drop this video a like if you've enjoyed it. Remember to subscribe if you haven't already. We're almost at 1,000 subscribers. There will be another update video on my free testosterone level soon. Hopefully that's all good. But yeah, like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for watching as always, and I'll see you soon in a bit.